Shiro here for Umbra Games with a review of 2006 Gears of War on Xbox 360. Yes, I had finished this once before back in 2008. I know I do get behind on games, but I'm not that behind. White Gravy and I were looking for a co-op game to play and realized we'd never made it through the entire series before, so we started over again at the beginning. Keep in mind, this may as well be a retro review, having the game be 10 years old, and I know a lot of people hold this game near and dear in their heart, but my job is not to look through the nostalgia goggles and analyze a game objectively as it stands today. As I've stated before, I'm not much of an online versus shooter type of guy, and I know several people that play Gears of War pretty exclusively for that reason. This review focuses on the campaign. Gears of War is a military, science fiction, third-person, over-the-shoulder, corridor, cover-based shooter that follows Delta Team as they liberate Marcus Phoenix from his prison and attempt to find out what happened to the most likely deceased Alpha Team in a last-ditch effort to cleanse the planet Sera of a genocidal enemy known as the Locust Horde. Their goal is to find the Resonator, which they hope will map out Locust tunnels under the surface, and then drop a light mass bomb, eradicating them all. Now, although you only control one character, either Marcus or Dom, the rest of the squad is with you at nearly all times, including if you choose to have a co-op partner, local or online. Many attribute Gears of War as being the forefather of the cover shooter, with creators saying it's a more realistic gunfight scenario to have both sides staying out of the line of sight while returning fire when possible. As such, you can stick to cover by pressing the A button. Once in cover, you can do a blind fire technique by pressing the right trigger, or pop out and take aim with the left trigger, and then fire with the right. But then you can go back into cover by releasing aim. You can hop over the waist-high cover to advance to forward cover and push the fight to the enemy, as they just as often will try to push you back as well. The level design pushes you forward with risk versus reward by bringing up emergence holes that you have to toss a grenade into to seal. This gives you something more than just killing the waves of enemies, allowing you to stop the horde before they can all make it out. This also adds the gameplay of covering your teammates as they prepare to toss a grenade in the hole. Your character can hold 2 different guns at a time, and there are a few available to fit your playstyle, including a couple different assault rifles, a shotgun, a sniper rifle, and something called the Hammer of Dawn. The Hammer of Dawn is a satellite launch weapon that is available for use when narratively convenient, outside, and when the satellite is in position. That said, it's a lot of fun. You definitely have to be close quarters to use a shotgun effectively, but towards the end of the game I actually got a lot of good mileage out of it. Now, Gears of War was also the first game I remember that featured active reload. Press the right bumper once to begin the reload animation, and if you can hit the button again while the line is in the proper position on the bar, you can try and speed up the process. If done perfectly, it will even increase the damage of bullets in the magazine. Now, if you miss your second button push, the whole ordeal takes a little bit longer. Your character's melee attacks feel pretty unreliable, as there appears to be an unspoken range and angle. If you had the assault rifle with a chainsaw on it, it's even more finicky, but provides a nice, gory, powerful finishing move when it's connected. Character models are highly detailed for the time, even when being dismembered by said chainsaw. Delta Squad's suits of armor and face definition were pretty revolutionary for the time, and still might be some of the best we've seen on 360. I did have a lot of problem trying to tell the difference between my culturally diverse teammates, with all of them so grizzled and in the same oversized power armor, and there weren't even icons to show me which of the 4 White Gravy was controlling. Sometimes it would split us up when we chose a path, and sometimes keep us together, so we were constantly asking each other if we were together, or if it was one of the AI team members. They try and portray some old wounds between characters through dialogue, but almost everything comes out like you're watching a macho, gun-spraying action movie from the 80s. The environments are highly detailed, pretty amazing for 2006, but also brought on the onslaught of brown and green quote-unquote realistic textures that came with the Unreal Engine. The use of light and darkness is effective, especially when incorporated with gameplay, staying in lit areas to protect you from the bat-like krill. Epic Games mixes up some of the action by putting in a few turret-driving areas and a bullfight or two with the Berserker Locusts. One of the boss fights required more than just bullet sponges as well, pushing it back and then flipping some switches. We did have some issues with one of the Berserkers getting stuck in terrain, and there were a couple moments where we'd finish an objective in an area and the game wouldn't move forward. Felt like maybe we were missing something, but then after an inordinate amount of time, a cutscene would begin. Scattered throughout the game's levels are COG tags, which are identification of soldiers that fight for the Coalition of Ordered Governments, COGs. Gears of War. Get it? Anyway, these glowing blue gears on a chain are the game's only collectibles, and the 30 can be obtained through multiple playthroughs. Now, the entire campaign took us about 6.5 hours with a few choke points of difficulty, but it still to this day is a pretty solid experience for cooperative play. I don't know that it would hold attention as well solo, as the grind of walking from set piece to set piece, engaging in, pop out gunfights, and reviving your teammates as they fall just becomes that much more apparent. For the third-person cover shooter genre, though, Gears of War still holds its own 10 years later, with a 65 out of 100 on my scale. This is Jiro for Umbra Games. Thanks for watching. The rest of the Gears of War series is inbound. Subscribe to the channel to receive notifications, or follow me on Twitter @UmbraGames.